Never tell when the camera is actually live. So hello. Good morning. It's Sunday morning here. It is 9:48. And I'm already mad. But it plays into the groundwork of what I really was getting guided to talk about anyways. So pro tip for magic, always grab your sun sign lighter. This is an Aries lighter. I have one from each time they do a series. And every time I light incense, I use them for my candle magic, lighting sage, lighting incense, to personalize it. So usually when you pay for gas, you'll see a little display of Bix at the gas station. And I always keep an eye out for the Zodiac lighters. Or sometimes, occasionally, rarely, they'll have tarot card series fashion lighters. And I'll grab those too for the same reasons. I had a star card lighter for the longest time. And this is absolutely digressing from my point. ADHD is so much fun. Especially when you're a special interest person. I have so many special interests. So today, this is about comparison being the thief of joy. So, I have a notes that I'm going to be referring to just because I had this download and I wasn't ready to record. And so I know it's important to talk about, so I'm just going to get down to it. I wrote it down like this. So, whose journey are you walking? Joseph Campbell says that if you can see your pathway clearly, if you can see the pathway clearly in front of you, it's not your path. So if you're walking this path and it looks really good and it reminds you of something somebody else has, or you're trying to walk in their footsteps exactly, or if you're trying to be a copycat, or you're trying to steal their riz, their charisma, you're trying to copy their mannerisms, you're trying to be like them. This happens a lot in music. Okay, hey girl. So I'm talking about comparison being the thief of joy. All right, I'm trying to get my brain together. I'm burning some incense. So if you see some smoke wisping by, it is sandalwood, Minichiko. It's delicious. It's like a temple incense from Japan. So your path will not be completely visible to you. Your path will feel always like you're stepping into the unknown. If you're stepping into path that feels familiar, it looks like somebody else's journey, and you're trying to force yourself into a cookie cutter version of what you think you should be fitting into, this is not your path. Comparison is the thief of joy. Oftentimes you're going to notice your body takes on tension. I remember 5th grade was hell for me. It was I was mostly homeschooled except for 4th and 5th grade. 5th grade, I was introduced to a bunch of kids who had that clique thing going on where if you didn't have name brand clothes, my God, you were going to be made fun of. Whew, I lived on hand-me-downs. I grew quickly. Homeschooled 5th grade on. See, maybe that's why we click, right? That's why my vibe and your vibe, right? Okay. There's a reason why the people who follow me religiously and stay on top of my posts do. Because I feel like we have very similar experiences. There's a reason why y'all vibe with me. Because I'm not for everybody. So I'm glad you're here. So, yeah, so that click thing was really painful as a kid to deal with, and it still happens as an adult. Like, it's even harder to make friends as an adult. Like, I still try to keep that, like, childlike, woo, 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 curiosity. Wow. Why did we decide to take a dive like that, phone? Yeah, we do have a lot of similarities. It's cool. Of course, that's why I signed my name in Lakesh Alakin, because I know, everybody always gets in their head and thinks that these experiences are solitary. And we get to feeling like we're the only ones. And it's always the lie we tell ourselves. It's very Piscean to do the self-undoing and to disconnect ourselves from everybody else. So that's why I sit here as a 12th houser and share myself like this. My thing is with authenticity. Obviously, that's a huge thing that I am leaning into as part of my brand, because we have artificial intelligence growing more and more every single day. And as human beings, our uniqueness is getting whitewashed through filters. I'm using one right now. We get veneers. We all have. I do spray tans. I see a lot of BBLs. I see a lot of breast implants. I see a lot of plastic surgery in all kinds of ways, fillers, everything. And I live in California, so this happens a lot. I've had Botox, like not an actual Botox, but I did Dysport. It lasted about 4 months. I liked it. I have a big frown line right here. That's part of the reason why I use a filter, because my eyesight is so bad I'm always squinting. I don't want to look grumpy. I'm not actually grumpy most of the time. But, we try to have sameness at the same time, but we lose it. We compare our lives to each other, and we become like tract homes, cookie cutter versions of each other, like barely any variation. I've never been one for that. I've always been weird. I've always been sticking out like a sore thumb. I've always been doing the artful thing. One time, in 5th grade, like we were just talking about, I've been to Eugene, and I used to live in Portland. What does that have to do with the deep frown line, though? Is that like a Eugene thing? Everybody's like, can't fucking see? Help me out. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, one time in 5th grade, I decided I wanted to dress up like a hippie for a whole week. And I didn't announce it to people. I just did it. I was just doing my own thing. It wasn't like a school sanctioned thing. But midweek, I was having kids asking me when I'm going to start dressing normal again. Like, they were just beyond with my eccentricities. And it's been like that ever since I can remember. I've just done my own thing. I'm sitting here, I have curlers in my hair, but like, look at my silly head wrap, and like I have this like hippie jumper that I found at the thrift store a couple weeks ago. I don't give a fuck if I look silly. I'm comfortable. I love wearing tapestries as clothing. I love wearing scarves all the fucking time. Like, it's my comfort zone. I don't know why. It just is. But I've grown into my freak flag. And I feel like part of my mission is to help others have their freak flag fly higher. Like, let them break out of their mold if they want to. If they want to be an NPC, fine. I'm not going to bother you, but I'm going to let you know my door is open if you want to have an authenticity call, like a one-on-one sliding scale call. Lowest you can pay me is $30 for an hour of my time. I'll sit here and talk to you about what might be holding you back from facing these parts of yourselves that could be real as fuck. Like, my offer for this call is going to be ending at the end of summer. So if anybody wants to have a self-loving hot girl summer, and break out of their shells and figure out who they really want to express themselves as, or find out how to put messy action into play, like we can have a fun phone call about it. It's not going to be a scary call. Like, I'm not a scary person to talk to. I haven't had any interest in these authenticity calls, but I think people are afraid to be themselves. So I'm actually kind of think it's a fun challenge. Like, I think this is getting into people's buttons a little bit. The whole vulnerability challenge that I did, and now this pairing is hitting a spot because I got a lot of attention over the vulnerability challenge, but nobody wanted to come through on it except for one of my friends. Okay? So that's how I know I'm pressing buttons, and they're worth pressing. So comparison is the thief of joy. If we are comparing ourselves to others and putting ourselves in boxes, we're not being fully joyful. If we're in our authenticity, our true weirdness, that homeschooler shit that some of us have, we didn't get that beat out of us. We know there's no competition. We know this weird lane of ours is where we have the most power. We know being tender in this lane, being compassionate in this lane for other people's journey, is where the creative juices of life begin to flow from. This is where things get fun, curious, and exciting. That's when you can start to go up to people and start making friends like a child and staying curious and learning new things and not being afraid to ask questions. I feel like part of the problem with people is they're not authentic enough to be like, I don't understand this thing. Can you please explain it to me? And then there's people on the other end of that where they're being questioned and they think they're being threatened because people aren't used to intercourse, conversational intercourse. It's ridiculous. For people who are like autistic like me, ADHD, very curious, very into asking questions, very into understanding, like this incense keeps hitting me in the face, y'all. Full on sandalwood. Okay. I'm trying to make this kind of short because I talked a lot. And I have things I need to do. I have a sink full of dishes I need to go wash. And then we're going to go to the cemetery and sort of sit in the sunshine and vibe. You know how cemeteries can be so welcoming when the sun's out and there's no rain today, so maybe I sound weird, but that's, again, me being myself without fear. Yeah, I go hang out in cemeteries. It's beautiful. They're well maintained and nobody bothers you. Fuck yeah. Anyways. Here we are. Life is short. Life is very fucking short. You blink, it's over. Kids grow so fucking fast. I don't have kids, but I'm watching my friends' kids grow and appreciating how fast life turns around. Like, I had, my cats for 16 years, and I still dream about them to this day. They both died in 2021. I love them so much, even still. I haven't been ready to have more cats, but that time with them in my life went by really fast too. So do we really have time to waste being afraid to express ourselves authentically when the rest of the world is on some other like acid trip of bits, bites, plastic surgery, I'm a nanny and the kids are growing like, yeah, exactly, like filters, Botox, Ozempic. Everybody's on these things and doing the same cookie cutter things. Y'all. Let's put these waist trainers aside. Let's get out of our fajas and let our bellies hang out for a second and really talk and be authentic with each other. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to hurt anything if we just let our fucking bellies hang and like our stretch marks be stretch marks and our cellulite be cellulite and our good hearts be good hearts, and like just realize some people have acne scars, some people have stains on their teeth. Like, I hope to God you're brushing and flossing though, because if you're not brushing, flossing, and scraping your tongue, you have bad gut health and your organs are going to be threatened. You know what I'm saying? But with character being what it is, we need to really just let ourselves be ourselves as human beings. So comparison's the thief of joy. It puts us in a box. Vulnerability is what gets us out of there. Authenticity is what gets us out of there. And I think people are attracted to it, but they're afraid to embody it. So if you are maybe wanting to reach out of that, let's talk about calling each other. I have a number on my bio if you want to reach me through that to talk about a session. I also have, I think that's the best way to get a hold of me for that. You can also DM me for an authenticity call. I don't have an option for it on any of my booking sites presently, so just hit me up one-on-one. We'll arrange something, get you on the schedule. So I'm going to get on with the rest of my day and wash them fucking dishes, because it'd be real life. Thank you for hanging out with me. I don't know if I know your name, but I know your Eugene Adventures screen name. So I appreciate you for coming. I never know who's going to pop up into my lives. A lot of times I'm sitting here talking to myself. So it's always nice to have somebody enjoying this time with me. So thank you for showing up, and I hope you have a beautiful day yourself. Hallie. Okay. Hallie. I like that. Okay, cool. Thank you for coming, Holly. Hallie. Why did I say it, Holly? I'll get my vowels figured out. I am a natural Mercury retrograde person. So as this Mercury goes direct, my brain's going to be like, Holly. I'm Katie. You know, I maybe I don't introduce myself enough. My name is Katie. My mom called me Patsy until I was 4 years old, but my name is Katie. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, much love to you and whoever watches this at any given time. Happy Sunday. Take care of your bodies and your teeth. Brush, floss, scrape your tongue. Period. I don't know why that's important to comparison being the thief of joy, but it connects. I promise.